Hey, Slacker, thanks for 19 months. Welcome back. All right, so green, black, rock, which is magic jargon for green, black, midrange. Generally speaking, rock decks are held together by removal spells that are powerful, as well as individually powerful threats. They'll tend to have a little bit of card advantage as well. Jadelight Ranger generates some card advantage. Vivien generates some card advantage. Finality generates some card advantage. Phyrexian Arena here as well. One thing that I'm not certain of in this deck, we had played a Fauna Shaman mid-range deck earlier in the format before Oko was banned. And when we were Sultai kind of mid-rangey, Fauna Shaman ultimately felt a little bit too weak. Like, the amount of time she took to find relevant things, then spending the extra mana, felt like it was worse than just playing other good cards. So that's something I'm going to want to be thinking about whenever this card comes up. Like, was its ability actually useful, or was it just like a glorified grizzly bear for the most part? Let's go ahead and dive on into some best of 3 historic with this one and see how it goes. Yeah, looking back at Magic's history, a card like Fauna Shaman is generally best in positions where you're enabling some kind of combo, or you have something like Vengevine to get going with. You had more one-ofs. I don't think I cut any of your one-ofs. I turned some of your 2s into 1s, but I don't think I cut any creatures altogether from the original submission, if I recall what I did last night. Yeah, I there were 2 Thrashing Brontodons and 2 Deathgorge Scavengers, and I turned those into 1s, and I turned Questing Beast and Rankle into 2s. But the total number of 1-ofs compared to the build that's in the deck queue is identical. Any preference on a Pioneer build around between Thousand Year Storm and Blue-Red Niv? Well, Blue-Red Niv is maybe a playable card. Thousand Year Storm is definitely not a playable card. Alright, took a second, but we found our way to a keepable hand. Yeah, I don't think that 7 was particularly close. It was real bad. I think I just do this. The enchantment that gives haste is the Riot one, right? Is the one you're thinking of, I believe. 4 color something, eh? Rhythm of the Wild. Yeah, that's the one. Don't ritual me. Questing Beast. Okay. So we're looking for a black source here so we can kill that. Feels magic, man. I think we're turning Scavenger into Jadelight here. So we can try and find a black source. Okay, I mean, that could have gone worse, right? This trades for their Questing Beast now. Looking for a black source, but found a blocker. Lotus Field. Okay. Wonder if they're a Blood Sun deck. You know, I'm actually gonna bin this because that means we can get it back with a fine finality later potentially. Phoenix is kind of a tough nut to crack. I guess Massacre Girl cleans this up. Is one way to deal with it cleanly. We have a copy of that in our deck. Massacre Girl also lives up to her name and takes out the rest of our board though, which is kind of unfortunate. They're also at kind of a low life total here, so if they start attacking with the bird, we can race them relatively quickly. Scavenger could exile it. Yeah, that's true. So, with Kenrith in play and then having all the colors, I think I actually am going to go get Massacre Girl at this point. I have Phyrexian Arena to recover card advantage afterwards. I think I just do this. They have another good follow-up threat. We could maybe be in a little bit of trouble here. They have 5 mana. Every color but blue. That one's beatable. That one kind of scary. Can at least pressure her with the Massacre Girl at least, but she's going to likely find them a threat or two. That's a phenomenal draw. That or Questing Beast were probably the best draws in our deck there. One small concern here with this Phyrexian Arena is that the way this deck is constructed, aside from Gilded Goose, we don't have any way to gain life. So, like, once we commit the arena to play, we're kind of committed to, like, trying to keep our life total extra high. Another Beastly, yep. Looking to draw a land here. We'd really like to hit running lands, that way we can play this Carnage Tyrant. Perfect. I'm going to play the arena out here and then not attack, I think, because I'd like to be able to double block their 5/5 if they swing in. Yeah, we could technically kill it to take it off the table, but that's not really an ideal game plan. Killed Rankle rather than our 4/4 deal. It's a lot of 5/5 shit. What's our best draw here? Like land plus finality? Oh, Murderous Rider gains us life. Okay, I was thinking we didn't have much, but Murderous Rider's a way to gain life. For Hoglandia, I appreciate you creating that Twitch account and cashing in your Prime this way. Thank you for the support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed this month with that. This is, you know, my 6 drop is slightly bigger than their 3 drop. Gosh, chat, have Magic cards become pushed in the last year? Is there a chance that Magic cards have been pushed in the last year? Once a month, you can get shillings for cheering bits, or once every 30 days. I think I'm supposed to just use my mana this turn. Carnage T is too powerful, it should be banned. Yep. I think this is the part where we just start to close, right? Yeah, I think we just, like, clear your thing, attack with all. I mean, a historic team or good stuff deck the other day was basically just standard. Yeah, there's been a lot of decks that have just been, like, standard plus, basically. Noxious Grasp sounds great here. Extra trophies sound good. Is this a Ritual of Soot matchup? Probably not. They had, like... They have, like, Questing Beasts and other bigger things. A Stacko, noted. Thrashing Brontodon doesn't seem particularly useful in this matchup. Probably a trim. Deathgorge Scavenger seems good for their Phoenixes. Return to Nature could maybe be okay for the Phoenix, but it seems kind of narrow. I feel like I'd rather just have more removal. Worth noting that our Fauna Shamans were very reasonable that game. Rankle's Edict effect isn't very good. It was okay as a hasty threat, but I think that's probably a trim here. And what's my last cut? And trim a mana creature. If we see them have useful artifacts or enchantments, I'll probably bring in Return to Nature if it does multiple things, but I think just exiling Phoenix isn't enough. Is there any schedule for historic tournaments on Magic Arena? No. Historic is largely just a casual format. I guess that's not strictly true. They announced there's some type of high entry fee, high prize style queue that's getting added at some point. I forget when that was exactly. I forget if it was like the beginning of January or the end of December. It must be the beginning of January. If you look back, they announced something like that, if I recall. That's a pretty good turn, too. Get them cards flowing. What do you think of Elves in Historic? We played Elves in Historic once before on stream, and it didn't feel like their average card quality made the deck was... It didn't feel like their average card quality was good enough when we played it. The synergy payoffs tend to have to be pretty high in order to be worth playing individually weak cards like you have to in those types of decks.
Wild animals I like. People draw. Not dead yet.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess Jadelight could hit me a land. I kind of don't want this to draw them cards, though, so I think I just trophy this and play Goose. Yeah, quite possibly, Fox. Like, Elves didn't even feel competitive in Pioneer. It has better tools there than it has in this format. One of the big issues is the lack of good one-mana spells. Like, if you look at the Elves that are legal in this format, there's like, this is the only good one-mana elf. All the other ones are, like, pretty embarrassing. Like, Pelt Collector's not very good in a tribal deck with lots of small creatures. think my health total is too low to keep that at this point. Also get more value off this scry. Yeah, I think I'm in for that. Yeah, those cards aren't really good enough in my experience. Riss isn't really a good 1-drop. It's like really slow and clunky. Like a 1-drop that's like trying to do like 3 and 6 mana abilities, if I recall. Hopefully they just jam some more creatures here and we just get to Massacre Girl them. Okay, there's the Blood Sun we were expecting with Lotus Field. But like at this point, it doesn't really do anything. I guess it ramps them. Blood Sun. Blood Sun strips all non-mana abilities off of lands. So it removes the hexproof from this, but it also makes it so their subsequent ones don't make them sacrifice lands. No, you can't interact with hexproof things. Haphazard Bombardment. The actually answer is Haphazard Bombardment. So next turn they're going to have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana total. You can. Haphazard Bombardment doesn't target, it says choose, which is functionally different. Well, they could have gotten anything there, and Questing Beast was the best thing they could get, so it seems like it bodes well for us. Yeah, I don't always acknowledge shilling bumps because they aren't dollars. I should make a command for that. So there's a dashboard for shilling bumps, and they'll get applied after the stream. I just make a food here. I mean, like, they have a ton of mana, but like if they don't find another payoff, we're in like a pretty okay spot here, right? Like I get to go ahead and find here and pick back up this and Goose, I think. Like shock this. Oh, it comes into play untapped. Sick. Thanks for the Blood Sun. Yeah, if they find like if they find another Finale of Devastation, we're going to be in a lot of trouble here because they have 9, 13 mana, but until they have a payoff, like, it's not a big deal. What if I just Massacre Girl here? When you make this play in paper, you just gotta like stare them dead in their eyes. It's like, yeah, what's one of it? Crunch, go. I'm so glad they added animation to this card. It's good value. Good, clean value. If you exile a creature, you gain some life. I would love to exile a creature. Let's exile Questercid. Honk, honk. Opponent having pretty typical ramp deck problems over there. Got a lot of mana. They're waiting on a Kenrith or a Finale. Not waiting no more, apparently. Ah, Questerson. The questing beast. Remember when Goose didn't honk? They were dark times. Want a die roll. Hand's a little bit slow, but I think it's probably keepable on the play. Yay! Green Divination. I'm really glad they gave Green Divination. It says a lot about the last year of Magic that, like, Green Divination is one of the least offensive things that's Green's gained in memory. You know what's not a big deal? The Green Divination that's also a 2/1. No big. Alright, ain't nobody got time to play around counter spells. My dogs, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, they don't like that. Stop it. Stop countering my stuff. You're making Huey, Dewey, and Louie mad. Don't make them mad, they're gonna bite you. Arr. So we get to Jadelight. I'm about to get syncopated. That's fine. I want to tick this up anyways. Just absorb. Deal. So Blast Zone gets to crank to 2, and then we get to blow it up and kill Search next turn. They do still have these 2 utility lands, which are a little annoying though. Crunch. Go. Yep. If I get syncopated or quenched here, I feel bad. Veto, that's fine. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big dumb dinos. Dum, 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 dum. I guess he doesn't really race Lyra. He does take Teferi out back by the woodshed to let him know who's boss, though. They're gonna like time wipe us here and make us real sad. You gonna trade with Jadelight here? So this, if it resolves, can go find Murderous Rider next turn. In a roundabout way, this can kill Murderous Rider. He says before it gets bounced. My poor Dino Boys, chat. Just not quite enough. Trim some mana creatures here. Trim Massacre Girl. Rankle's probably fine. It's just a haste threat. Scavenger doesn't do a whole lot. Wonder if it's wrong to just cut the Fauna Shamans. This isn't really a matchup where you like need utility. I just want like good cards. Could be right to keep Shaman and ditch the Elves, but if I ditch the Elves that like don't have that many creatures, yeah, keeping Shaman in when I'm going down to 19 creature seems medium. Been better to cast Fauna Shaman and then kill Massacre Girl. And then cast Massacre Girl, it would have killed Lyra. It wouldn't have. I would have had Llanowar Elves, Jadelight Ranger, Fauna Shaman die, which means Massacre Girl would have given everything a total of -4/-4. So no, that play doesn't work. Huh? What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. They are. All the guild sleeves are well done. Llanowar Elves is technically a spell. Ain't that the truth? The auto tapper is just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. Why are you like this, auto tapper? Might be a bad idea. Who made you this way? Give me names. Be specific. Yeah, might want to add 0 counters to Blast Zone, right? Hey, Zine Sauce, thanks for the 11 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Gregor the Nerd, cashing in for the 16th month. Happy Sunday.
Let's try this.
Arena, getting to draw a bunch of cards feels good. Feels good, man. All right, what you working with over there? Who is your daddy and what does he do? Oh gosh, that's something I want now. I didn't realize how much I wanted that till you said it, Critya. Adventure cards with different color halves? That sounds just sweet. Sounds quite excellent. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 want adventure cards with different colors. Yeah, my entire concept of like what day it is currently completely out the window. between holidays and like me working Saturday, Sunday. It's like, well,
Stand by and watch.
I will be really sad if we don't get more adventure cards. I think the adventure cards are a great example of interesting, powerful designs that are not overbearing.
Let's hold that thought.
What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Wow, that worked. Is that the first time a spell's ever resolved against blue-white? I feel like it's the first time I've ever resolved a spell. Nah, I don't think I want to field their castle. I think if they're taking time off to castle, that's fine. I think I want to hold the field for Sir Trezcanta at this point. Feels magic, man. Feels magic, man. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spells in 20 cards. Two of those spells were Llanowar Elves.
To the good part.
Yeah, John Avon better watch out. We're coming for his contract. Like 2 removal spells here. Alright, we're just dead because we take 5 and then Arena kills us. Well, I felt like we were really far ahead that game for a little bit with the Phyrexian Arena going, and then we just like didn't have any action, unfortunately. Just how it goes sometimes. Is Casualty good in grindy matchups like this? Nah, it just tends to be a spell that gets countered. Casualties is good in grindy matchups, but not grindy matchups that involve counter spells. Oh, Rider could have technically kept us alive, sure. I don't think we were winning that game, but you're right. I wasn't dead next turn if the Rider connected. You are correct. Wasn't actually dead. I need a hero. Gonna Murderous Rider. Do 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 do. We're only realistically dead, not deterministically. Ain't that the truth? Big agree.
You show remorse. I'll show. Oh, I've done the hero thing.
Untapped land there would have been ideal. Unfortunately, we've got what we've got. I'm gonna go ahead and fetch with this just to get my auto pass value in. How was Abzan Hero last night? Abzan Hero was so good that by the time we had played 3 matches with it, I decided that I wasn't going to play any more Brews the standard format. That's how good it was. Seems like it was busted then. Oh. You could have draw stepped that opponent. We left all our lands in the last game. The current standard format is very solved. There is a number of reasonable decks in the format that you can play, but I'm pretty confident all those decks are known, and the decks that haven't put up results at this point are not going to be good enough. If people want to see specific good decks, I'm going to take submissions for specific good decks still. But in large part, if people want to see brews, they're going to have to go elsewhere. Till Theros drops. Don't do it. Don't do it. Rude. Yeah, January 11th is the...
That's more like it.
Getting stuffed while playing bad decks is not good content. So, the remainder of Standard between now and Theros is going to be mostly me playing reasonable decks, waiting to find a deck for the MCQ weekend. Alright, I guess I hit this now. Probably should have just attacked this last turn and taken it off the table. Thanks for the 10 months, Hacksaw. Welcome back.
I'll protect you.
Real shame we didn't draw a land there. If we'd have drawn a land, we could have Vivien, killed the Elite Guard Mage, and then killed Teferi. Now I have to decide if I want to spend... I think I'm just like, Rankle, attack both my things at your Planeswalker. Uthakai has been pretty punishing here, though. It's been an 8-point swing already. Plus the life it originally gained. What about Golgari midrange? If it hasn't top 8 at a major tournament, I'm not going to be playing it in Standard until the new set drops. Thanks for the very generous tier 2 resub, Bib, in the fourth month at that. I appreciate you keeping me around. Yeah, I should trophy my own card. Sweet. Alright, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to Vivien shoot the Guard Mage, and then I'm going to trade Rankle for... I'm going to have Rankle make us discard our last cards and sacrifice. So I'll trade Fauna Shaman for the card in their hand, and I'll trade Rankle for their hero in play. You've passed through 10-year review successfully. You may now show your true colors. Thanks for the content. Castle's a little scary here. I kind of want some lands, huh? I think.
You can't stop nature.
I think I'm in for my 6th land. I could just trophy their land. That's true. I'd also find this turn. I think I want to just find this turn. I'm gonna get Questerson and Jadelight Ranger back. This find play might be wrong because if they draw a removal spell, they can kill my Vivien now. Because they end step make a token. Yeah. Oh, they forgot to make a token. Sure. Deal Arena. Got paid off for not killing the castle because they drew another one.
Meet my newest friend.
Obviously should have Jade Lighted first. Would have drawn 2 cards. think I'm just gonna Rankle on defense. Want to keep my Vivien on high loyalty. Alright. Noxious Grasp seems great. Trophy's probably fine. Massacre Girl seems wonderful. Rankle actually seems kind of medium. I know it was okay there, but in general, it doesn't seem like it lines up very well against what they're doing. Thrashing Brontodon, probably not necessary. This is probably, again, a matchup where I don't mind trimming some mana dorks just to increase my average card quality a little bit. I don't know if this is a Duress matchup. So, like, they have some non-creature spells, but I don't know. Duress is a card that you generally only want to bring when they have a high density of non-creature spells. While they have some important non-creature spells, I don't know how heavy or not their deck is on them. I might just submit like this. Sure. Beating Esper is very viscerally satisfying. It's like, yes. I think I just play out the second threat, so this way if their turn 3 is Teferi, they go Teferi, bounce something, I kill Teferi with an attack.
I am not going to sit this one out. I've got it.
You want to bring in one copy of Duress? Seems loose. Duress isn't really a bring in one copy card. You like either want it or you don't. Hey, APR, but we'll be here still when you come back around. Thanks for the year of support while you were here. Hope whatever other ventures you find later on serve you well. How many standard decks am I planning on playing tomorrow? 3. My goal for each day during the streamathon is to do 3 Pioneer decks and then 3 Arena decks, with the Arena format alternating each day. So that just resolved rather quickly. Sign me up. Looks like Esper control. 6 cards in hand, concede. Old 6 cards in hand, pack it in. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. For people that weren't here yesterday, for people who are like, part of the reason why our rank is so low in the percentages right now is people who are close to making the top 1200 cut. I'm not playing them. I'm just giving them a boost. So if we stay low enough in the 90s, we shouldn't queue into too many of those, but like, I stand to gain nothing, so. Yeah, the ladder system really sucks, and playing the last few days is stressful, so anybody I can give a small present to at no cost to my own is fine. Our little bordered ugly duckling. Why do you have a border, Fauna Shaman? Nobody loves you and your border. The seasons end at the end of each calendar month. It doesn't have a borderless option that you can buy for money. You had to, like, play in some stupid best of one event to get the borderless option, if I recall correctly. To be fair, a lot of my borderless cards subs donated or cheered for. Yeah, I'm gonna trade these. Like, I have the Carnage Tyrant in my hand, which, like, kind of makes me want to wait, but I also, like, want to keep my health total high with Phyrexian Arena out. It's a little punishing that I can't Vivien this turn because I blocked, but it's whatever. It is a borderless 8th edition card. Indestructible till end of turn. Yep.
Let's tear this place. No one knows the wilds like I do.
Let's tear this place apart. Running dumb dinos here should close the game out relatively quickly. So it says, whenever they would draw a card, look at the top 3, put one in their hand, the rest in their bin. I'm afraid of the big bad wolf, chat. It's very hungry and ate my Fauna Shaman.
The wilds are my shield.
Ooh. I think I'm supposed to take the swamp. Should probably plus her before I play my land. Sequencing things. They can start pumping out food with Wicked Wolf for the goose. But Trophy should mess that up a little bit too. Yeah, cards like this that just don't immediately acquire value, and then, like, Little Teferi was around to bounce him, and there were also just, like, a glut of good 5-drops. Like, even before Little Teferi and Oko, this card struggled a bit to compete with, like, the 6/6 Flying Demon. I agree, Bib. If the arena things didn't come along with incredible memory issues, it would honestly be just, like, super impressive. I think arena is head and shoulders above all of its competitors in terms of animation value. And look here, my mis-sequencing of my lands last turn ended up biting us. Because I didn't play the swamp last turn, I can't Trophy and Murderous Rider this turn, which is a big deal.
Balance comes.
Alright, gotta discard the hand size. So, with Vivien on 8, if they don't have a rider or a trophy, they have to make bad attacks this turn, but I'd be kind of surprised if they don't have a way to take Vivien out. They've seen a lot of cards this game. Her emblem, for those it's been a while, gives your creatures 2/2, Vigilance, Trample, Indestructible. Wait, what? The way I tapped was also wrong, because, if I had tapped better, I could have made a food this turn too if I would have tapped Blaststone instead of one of my forests. Giving them a land tier means that they can make a food for the goose and save the Wicked Wolf, but I'm gonna get to Vivien Emblem, which should be pretty unbeatable. This gives Indestructible too, right? Yeah, Vigilance, Trample, Indestructible. Like Carnage Tyrant's gonna be very angry. There are some Planeswalkers emblem that are kind of Beatable. This is not one of them. Maybe those are going to be famous last words, but I think I can count on one hand the number of times I watched a Vivien emblem lose the game when that card was super standard playable. Yeah, it gives Vigilance too. So just like, you don't lose the race. Yeah. It's really good. We did beat a Vivien emblem in Standard one time. If I recall, it was with red-white land destruction and involved a bunch of Settle the Wreckage and deal 20s. Or specifically Settle, because Settle still exiles indestructible things. I think that's the one and only time we managed that. Massacre Girl. There's one. Okay. Massacre Girl's a card that they could realistically be playing that would get through the Vivien emblem here, potentially. It's a good one to reach for. So they have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 toughness. So this Murderous Rider killing a 6/6 should be lethal. Braska's Contempt, sure. They don't really have that option, though, against what we're doing because we have Carnage Tyrant out. Their deck has, like, a Undergrowth sub-theme going on. They had, like, random graveyard value stuff, essentially. I think I want some trophies for some extra spot removal here. Actually, Grasp is probably better than Trophy, huh? They're mostly green stuff. Brontodon seems unnecessary. Scavenger seems fine. They have a lot of random bad things to sacrifice to Rankle, so that seems not great. Yeah, I just don't want all four trophies. Flood of Tears is a proper spot both in-game and out of it. But Jim's a tough one. The Grixis deck he was playing earlier really messed us up. I think I'm gonna mulligan this. Just like, can't play Elf on one, only would have one color. Alright, not excited about this one, but it's a keep. Hawking, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hooglandia. Yeah, that split has seemed to work well from a viewer perspective in terms of numbers too. Once upon a time, changing to Arena used to always bring the viewer count up. Now it's hit or miss. We're a little bit higher than we were on Pioneer now. I think I'm sacking Fauna Shaman. I think I want the Goose at this point. Endrace Forge Runners is a good one to note that's there. Mostly a YouTube watcher, but thanks for all the good times. Thanks for the 12 months of support. I appreciate you keeping me around making YouTube stuff. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield for when you're here. Needed to subscribe so I could chat with you. That's where they get you. Those darn Twitchers. Good to have you here in chat, Hawking. If you're interested in chatting after I'm offline as well, you should be sure to pop into the Discord server also. Any thoughts on doing historic earlier sometimes? Having schedules that are consistent tends to be better for viewer counts as well. So once upon a time, it made sense to do the format that tends to have lower viewer counts first. But now that the viewer counts are closer, maybe I could do some flips. I don't know. It's just tough too, because like people know what to expect in the afternoon versus not now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just grasp this now. So like, Boros Charm you, I gain a life. Then like, if I draw a removal spell next turn, I like attack, they block, pay life, I removal spell, they lose it. Yeah, they're debating on if they want to. Oh, it taps it! Oh, yeah, that card's really not good. I forgot it tapped it. Are my wife or I doing any fun non-magic gaming these days? Not really. My personal life's been a little bit hectic for the last 6 weeks or so hasn't been a lot of time for things outside of work and making sure the kids are where they need to be. Things are calming down with the new year, hoping to get back into a regular board game schedule at the very least. So you can't tell based on the camera, but a number of the games on the shelf behind me are still in plastic wrap. Thing that pushed me to subbing, I stumbled across the card Bankrupt in Blood from Ravnica Legions. Thoughts on the place in an aristocrat deck? Is that the one where when you pay life it gets counters? Does this show how sacrifice 2 creatures, draw 3 cards? Oh, I don't think that affects powerful enough. Maybe it's okay with like 3 mana Chandra, but 2 creatures is a really big ask. After the set release, we'll probably, maybe we'll try and rotate through. That's really good. That's a 7-ball and a 6/5. I've already got my schedule laid out for the Streamathon this week, but maybe we can think about experimenting after that. Yeah, it's definitely not as good as Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Then there's a question of, like, do you want more copies of that effect? So block here. I don't really have any food payoffs, so I'm just going to eat all of this just to keep my health total as high as possible here. Yeah, maybe the first week of Jan, we'll try and flip the schedule and do some arena mornings and Moto afternoons. That's an answer to this at least, even if it's not a way to kill them. And they find a Blood for Bones here, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. You think I can fit anything else in here with my foot? Think there's any more room in my mouth, chat? Oh, yeah, they had a pig. I forgot about that. Yep. So we take 10 and go to 7 here. What's our best possible draw at this point? Feel like we're probably dead here. Our mixed orders day is too confusing. You mean like Pioneer, then Arena, then Pioneer again? Yeah. Generally speaking, you want to start a format and then play all the way through it.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Alright, we're dead, I get it. Oof. Do I want Return to Nature? The problem with Return to Nature against Blood for Bones is that, like, Blood for Bones doesn't target. So, like, if you take their best thing, they're still gonna get their second best thing back. I don't take Cut the Lines once I'm done with that format for the debut shoes. So I don't take Cut the Lines to go back to Moto once we started Arena. In large part because there are people who only watch Arena and only watch Moto. So in the long term, disrupting that viewership is not worth the money that you're getting from the Cut the Line. Also people that only watch specific formats. That's why I try not to mix and match formats. So, like, we actually had 2 people that donated a bunch to get some legacy decks in over the streamathon. And when we do those decks, they'll be the first deck up each morning. So that way we can do legacy into a couple of Pioneer into Arena. Fox was one of them. Yeah, this thing looks good. If we hit an untapped black source, we get to turn to Arena. If we don't, we still get to go tap land second elf. So, even though we drew an untapped land, it's not a black source, so I can't Arena this turn. So we'll still play the Temple. I mean, to be fair, when I go live, it's 9 a.m. on the East Coast. You tried, MTG bot. It certainly tried. That's really interesting. It's not too scary till a little bit later, though. Vivien. It would be fitting if we drew Vivien and Vivien got to blow up her own Arcbow, though. How bad did Wizards screw up in 2019? I think it's overstated how bad designs as a whole were in 2019. In my opinion, the worst... Oh, they're using it as a discard outlet. That's really cheeky. That's cute. Yeah, that's also true too. You know, there's a lot of people, not only in the Middle East, but also in Europe and places where I start as they get home from work. What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Hey, Jace the Man Sculptor, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. The peak people working on Shillionaire have about 200,000 shillings at the moment. Kuntz is one of our Shillionaire leaders. Did I kill the elf to play around Blood for Bones? No, I don't think so. Their graveyard's not good enough at the moment, I don't think. Oh, the WotC decision. In my opinion, the biggest miss in 2019, which in WotC's defense, they have made efforts to improve already. To use corporate buzz speak, WotC wasn't agile enough in 2019. And what I mean by that is, game design is really complicated and has a lot of moving parts in it. And I don't expect Wizards to always get it right. Like, it's unrealistic to expect there to never be issues. The problem with 2019 is that Wizards' response and response time to those issues has not been appropriate. It's not been good enough. Stiggy, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So, when I say... you know, I expect there to be issues. It's not an excuse for them to let things rot. I think their reaction time was bad in a number of formats, and decisions they ultimately ended up making in some of those formats I was not happy with. But I think the fact that there's a lot of people who act like just because cards get banned, that's unreasonable. And I think it's fine if the power level gets pushed and we occasionally have to ban things. The thing that I think is not okay is when they let major events go through and sit there and rot waiting for cards to get banned. I think it's not okay when they misidentify what needs to be banned and ban only Field of the Dead and make the format worse and then leave that worse format for it to rot for too long. Those are things I'd be critical of. But the fact that there were mistakes, if they're not banning things on occasion, they're not trying hard enough. They scryed a card to the top, so I'm gonna block the Stitcher Supplier. If you aren't failing occasionally, you're not trying hard enough. Can you imagine this arena had drawn us spells, right? I'm gonna get rid of that. They don't have that many green threats. I have Murderous Rider in hand already. I want to try and draw some more threats of my own so I can get this game over with before they crawl back into it. Each player sacrifices a creature, planeswalker, each player who can't discard a card. So if I Murderous Rider this, they have to discard their card? Sign me up. I agree. And again, in Wizards' defense, they've made changes to allow themselves to be more flexible and avoid the issues that happened in 2016 or 2019, this current year. So they had a problem, they messed up, and they made a change to improve, to try and ensure that that type of mess up doesn't happen again. All right, this Vivien should hopefully bury them enough that they can't get back in this game. So we flooded a good bit here, but Phyrexian Arena just pulled us through. Pulled us through nicely. But remember, I also occasionally say mean things about decisions Wizard makes, so they're not able to work with me.
Meet my newest friend.
Crunch. I mean, the secondary market's always going to go in a frenzy, though. You just can't stop it. Yeah, Bear, I don't think Bear Keesis is very good punchworthy. The payoff you're getting is just not good enough. You can get more card advantage with less work, is essentially the TLDR. I'm liking this one. I like fair mid-range decks. Let's play one more, and then we'll take a quick ad break, and we'll come back with some Jeskai Feather. Yeah, to a degree, Stegall, but like, you know, there's tournaments around scheduled ban lists too, and like they could also very realistically put their unscheduled announcements around events. Like, if Wizards of the Coast makes a good conscious effort to like not ban things the week before a major tournament, that would be ideal, right? That's why you play bad cards so you know they won't get banned. That's the 300 IQ play for sure. Hey, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. The feather deck we're going to play next today is actually a Jeskai variation. So Wargy Corgi, who had submitted a bunch of the feather decks, they submitted 3 different color combinations of it. So far, Naya is my preferred. We tried Mardu as well. And today we're going to try a blue splash. It's like mono white knights. Here's hoping that 2020 is better than 2019 and Theros Standard is better than Eldraine Standard. Let's hope. Hats off. Listen, chat, ain't nobody got time to draw spells. Come on now. Shuffler's as rigged as the earth is flat. You all know that. Don't pretend like you don't. Yep. Alright, at least we'll get to dust off those ritualists since we've had in our sideboard this entire time. How do most pros procure cards for tournaments? Generally speaking, in my experience when I played a lot of competitive tournament Magic, sponsors do not provide cards for you to play with. Generally speaking, sponsorship opportunities come with, what's the word I'm searching for? Tend to come with monetary benefit from being on coverage, or maybe a flat rate per event that you attend, or they pay you a flat rate per articles. But usually they do not provide you with cards. When I was traveling a lot, I owned the modern deck that I played frequently, Kiki Cord, but for standard, you either bought stuff or borrowed. In fact, release weekend standard events were the stone cold worst as a player, because release weekend standard, you couldn't borrow cards because there was just so little availability. There was definitely more than one week 1 standard tournament where buying just the new cards for my deck cost me more than the rest of the weekend combined. Yeah, and these days when I play an occasional Paper Magic tournament, you'll see me ask on streamer in the subs Discord, and I've yet to not be able to have someone mail me a deck or hand me a deck at a tournament. Community's great. I play paper events pretty sparingly these days, though. I know nothing about Modern, but how do I know Kiki? What was the Kiki core deck all about? So Kiki Jiki plus the card Restoration Angel creates unlimited Restoration Angels. So it's a 2-card infinite combo. And the Chord part of Kiki Chord was the card Chord of Calling, which is a tool that lets you search for specific creatures out of your deck. You ever make it to an LGS for FNM or casual play? No, not really anymore, Geodude. When I play games casually these days, it's from the stack of board games behind me. Paper Magic, especially Paper Standard, is really expensive to play casually. The cost of keeping up even casually with Paper Standard is much less than just having board games. So I was discussing board games with my brother the other day, and he mentioned the price of one. I was like, dude, I've bought Magic cards. All these prices are irrelevant. Buying several good board games is like a Scalding Tarn. Well, there's not a whole lot we can do in this match. Maybe we can get lucky and draw Ritual of Soot here, huh? Marshall. Alright, so the play to win line here is trade Questerson for Venerated Loxodon, and then hope to untap and draw Ritual of Soot or Finality. So we've got 5 live draws here. What formats did I top 8 in? I have large tournament top 8s in Standard, Modern, and Legacy. I think I had 13 or 14 STG Open top 8s by the time all was said and done. All right, Green-Black Rock. All things considered, I feel like my assessment at the start kind of held true. Fauna Shaman was like okay utility in some spots, but there were a lot of those games it was just a grizzly bear. Massacre Girl was good. I think I'd probably play a second copy of this if I didn't have one to tutor for. These cheeky one-ofs here, I think I'd rather just play, more copies of good cards in the deck overall. Phyrexian Arena was super impressive. There's almost certainly a variation of this that, plays the full Explore package with Wild Growth Walker to gain life, and then you can jam 4 Phyrexian Arena in with Wild Growth Walker and not feel bad about it just because you have so much life gain that it won't really matter. Rankle. Rankle was okay in some spots, but kind of mediocre overall. I think I'd cut this and probably play like a third, maybe a fourth questing beast. Carnage Tyrant was fine. Vivien was fine. So core, green, black, good cards, very reasonable. Fauna Shaman, kind of cute, was useful in some spots, but bad in others. All right, what are we doing? So we're gonna kick the tires on Jeskai Feather. So Feather Redeem Splash Blue for the first time here. When we get back from a short break, I'm gonna get this updated everywhere. Be back in a few, folks. Thanks for hanging out.